Josephine Margaret Reaves. That's my married name. 60 years with the right man. I've been in San Antonio about, say, 50-some odd years, I guess. After Pearl Harbor, just didn't know what was going to happen. I had been doing some nursing work there, a private duty nurse, but I didn't care for that. We were just kind of floundering. This friend of mine, her name was Melissa Marini. She was of Italian descent also. So we got into the Army Nurse Corps, raised the old hand, you know, and all that. And then we wanted to go to a location not too far from Philadelphia because we'd never been out of town in our life. And we put in for Fort Meade, Maryland. My friend met this young man. In 6 months she was married. Well, of course, at that time you couldn't be married and be in the service, so she had to get out. The units and the nurses, we started to practice ourselves. They started to drill us up in Scotland. Meanwhile, all the Americans were gradually coming in to get ready for D-Day, which we didn't know about. We just knew that there was an awful lot of men coming in. For what purpose, we didn't know. Get a call. Lieutenant Pescatore, report to Bristol, England, you're going to be assigned to an evac hospital. So I go down there with my little duffel bag, and I have my lipstick and my rouge, and I have my comb and brush and deodorant and everything else. And remember, I was in a general hospital, and we could wear dresses. So she says, well, where's your gas mask, Joe? Where's your helmet, your canteen? Where's your stuff? I said, well, I don't have any. This is my stuff. I'm carrying over my shoulder because I have my lipstick and rouge, you know. 5 days when I joined that unit, I was on a ship and going to the English Channel to Normandy and to Omaha Beach. It was a big bottleneck there. All kinds of ships were there. You see, they had all come in with guns, with tanks, with soldiers, just everything to recruit to put onto the Omaha Beach because, and this was second, I guess you might say this is a second or third wave of this stuff. And so I could see, this is where they're going to get off this ship, and what are they doing? Oh, you'd go down the rope, and what's down there? There's the water, and there's the LST waiting to take you on shore. And they're losing their patience because they're yelling at you, they're Navy boys with an LSD. But we're scared to death. You try to go down a rope ladder with your foot flush against the side of the ship, and that's all you could do. You couldn't put your foot anyplace. And of course, as they came down, the Germans are waiting on the ground for them, so they're shooting them. Well, that was bad. But then they got the boys to the first aid tent with a big Red Cross on it, you know. And the Germans came over and they bombed that tent, bombed the tent. So these boys were hit twice, not once, twice. As you saw, there were so many bodies there, and they were all those who were deceased were put in body bags. And these body bags are buried in the sand because they just had so many at one time, they could just take so many. And of course, when the tide comes in, the sand would wash over the area. They'd have to be buried again, these boys. Sometimes those fellows came into to our hospital. They had walked a distance to get to a hospital, and we were the first hospital that they got to. But we couldn't operate on their extremities, say, for a while because they were so caked up with mud and stuff inside the wound that you had to clean it out before you could even see what you had left of it. And you used spiritus fermenti, that's plain old whiskey. And you give them whiskey maybe twice, 2 times a day, depending on the way the doctor ordered it, to try to get circulation back in that particular part of the body that's not doing too well. They were trying not to amputate. Maybe the doctor gave you a day or maybe even 2 days to try to get circulation going in that leg and then, or arm, and then they'd say, no, we can't do that. Some of these boys were telling they had 2 weeks basic training in the States. Then they were put on a plane and they bypassed England, they bypassed France, and they went right into Belgium to the Battle of the Bulge, injured in my hospital and back in the States before 90 days. After the war, we came back down here, and my husband went to work, still in the military. He went to work out of Fort Sam, and the years went very fast. The years have gone very fast.